This is TWiT.
So Facebook earlier this month shut down NYU's research project into political ad targeting.
They sought to shut it down. Did they actually shut it down? I don't know.
Yes, they didn't actually shut it down.
Oh, really?
Okay. No.
Because it's outside Facebook.
Yeah. I think
they're
they
scraping.
said that they were going to restrict it until the election was over.
Yeah, they're using scraping tools, so it isn't in Facebook, but still, what they did is they asked, I think they asked people to give them their Facebook feeds, right? And allow them to scrape it.
It's a browser plugin, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
The markup is doing this as well.
It looks at this, yeah. But there's a GDPR issue here. It's one matter for it to know what you saw, but what your friends saw, the targeting. The way it was explained to me some time ago is that if a given ad is shown to Ant and you know what the targeting of that ad is, you then know something about Ant that Ant may not have wanted anyone to know. So there's a GDPR issue here.
Oh, there's also, Ben Thompson wrote about this and I thought made a good point that some of the stuff that Facebook would be doing if it effectively gave the nod to this type of stuff would be things that are covered by the consent decree. In fact, both consent decrees in which Facebook promised not to do this type of stuff. So if it says, oh, go ahead, or even just turns a blind eye to this kind of scraping, it could be seen as breaching the consent decree, because it might be fine for me to share what I'm doing on Facebook, but all of my friends and all of their stuff is in there too. They didn't give their permission for me to share that.
So while it's tempting to say, oh, see, this is the unintended consequence of these regulations, it's preventing reasonable research from being done, maybe it isn't an unintended consequence. Maybe really it is the right thing to do to say, well, your friends of friends information shouldn't be offered up, even if you say yes, just because you're running that browser plugin.
But Facebook should have sat down and tried to figure out. I think
must have been a way to do
luck,
it better.
No matter what.
Yeah.
They should have figured out a way to sit down with NYU and work with them.
Right.
And Facebook and Twitter, for the past 2 years at least, I've written about this, have promised researchers all sorts of information, and it takes 10 times longer than everybody said it was going to. And then the amount of information that comes out is tiny and useless.
You have to wonder if Facebook, I mean, honestly, they don't want this information to
No, of course they don't.
Yeah. So it's a convenient thing that it's illegal and they don't want to.
But what I said to them, I was at a meeting brought together by people who are pretty anti-tech and anti-Facebook, and someone from Facebook was there, and it's Chatham House, so I guess I shouldn't say who was there, but anyway. And we had this discussion. I said, well, why the hell can't you just release this stuff? And then well, no, here's what's going to happen. You know, once I know about Ant can come back at me and say you violated my privacy because you revealed to the world that I like barbecue.
Right.